It's been brought to my attention the situation that's taking place with the homie out there in Colorado. The homie that they just gave 110 years to. Homie was sober. He wasn't texting and driving. Anybody who knows anything about Colorado know those mountains will burn the brakes out. With that being said, we're not doing no loads to Colorado, no loads from Colorado. With that being said, we're also signing the petition, and I want everybody that support me and my movement, hey man, let's sign the petition. PSA to all my trucking companies, the owners. Homie, if you know the equipment ain't right, go get that equipment fixed, bro. You got to drive out there riding reckless because you trying to make some money. PSA to all my truck drivers. Homie, get off that phone. All it take is one slip in this game time. Do the pre-trip. That's your life on the line in that truck. From the streets to the suites, we elevating and we educating. With that being said, you gotta know the do's and the don'ts when you're in these trucking industry. We going from the streets to the suites.
Hey, what's going on? It's me again with another video. So today I'm gonna make this real quick because gotta go. Right, you hear the truck started, you know what I mean? Warming it up. But I'm gonna cut it off just for this video. And then, I'm out of here. So today I want to talk about, the situation that's going on in Colorado. In this video, right? There's numerous things I want to talk about actually with this video. So first and foremost, I understand the need, right, to get together and show up for your fellow brother in this brotherhood called trucking, right? It actually exists. And so the second thing I want to talk about is the fact that, I don't have a CB in my truck, right? Because, all the things that I saw online and stuff like that, I just didn't want to do it. Because I felt like that brotherhood didn't exist. So I could appreciate this video and what they're doing because it's like, to me, it's showcasing that there is some type of brotherhood that's still going on in this trucking stuff. Because I'm not gonna lie, when I first came in, I felt that a lot. Like, but as I was driving, it's like, you got people coming in every day and they breaking that. They're not even going to, because they was coming in too fast. And, the people came out here and didn't realize that this is a big fight that truck drivers got to fight, so you might as well band together. Why are we out here against each other when we got a bigger beast that we fighting against? So, I think one of the biggest problems that happened was when the LED logs came in, and all like the big truck drivers, all the owner operators, all the vets that was in the game, they left because they didn't want to be controlled by this device. They want to be able to run how they want to run. Nobody in their business. They could do what they want to do. So they left. And now they left the door open for them to have to rapidly pull drivers in all the time. Like, they just got to pull drivers in. Because, the need for this economy to work, it definitely lies in truck drivers. But back to my first point, you're not going to have it where anybody's going to allow, just because it's a positive, you're going to allow a whole bunch of negatives to come into place. They're not going for that. It's not going to be a time where, the importance of running the economy is more important than the safety of the people in it. So, people out here destroying stuff and wrecking up cities and towns and stuff like that. People was dying out here. And, you have a class of people that's just tired of that. So, I know it's severe and it's harsh. 110 years is a lot of time. But, I think the point is being made is, when somebody passes away, that's a life sentence. You can't bring that back. So, about the CB, to this day, I don't have it. And a lot of people be trying to tell me like, yo, bro, you got to get it. You got to get that CB because it's more helpful to you than harmful, right? Right? But it's because I know me, right? That I don't have a CB because, when I first came in, an amateur trying to learn my way out here, you got all the super truckers that talk crazy out here. They talk crazy. So I could just imagine how much stuff go on it. So I'm like, I don't want to be a part of that, because I'm not about to be dealing with being triggered every day just to be out here to make money. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. That's harsh to tell me that I gotta face, my agendas to come out here, I'm trying to do right by about me. So I'm like, fuck it. I'm out here trying to figure out how I can do that, right? But I'm like, I'm not going to take that, right? There's a lot of stuff I told myself I'm not going to take while I'm out here, right? So I'm not going to take the fact that you talk crazy on there. Now I got to pull over every 3 seconds, to square up with the driver. I'm not doing that. We're not doing that. I know people was really good with just throwing words out there and then, just getting stuff with their chest. I also know that there's a lot of people out here that's going through it. So they're going to take their frustration out somewhere. So they're going to be out here, very frustrated, right? And the reason why I know this, like, I'm not on it, right? So the question probably is a good question to be asked, right? If you don't have one, how you know what's going on the CB? You know what I'm saying? So for one, when my homies tell me stuff, they be like, it's so funny, you right. But, they have the ability to be like, yeah, nah, I'm not even going to tune into that. I'm going to just tune on into, the helpful stuff, because, he's like, yo, I be having drivers that I be talking to that drive next to me when we have like miles, like we got hundreds of miles to ride. So we be on our CB, just kick, we just be getting it in because we know, like, this is good for, I'm tired, or, it's entertaining, or it's informative, stuff I don't know about. We got this time right here. We're going to do that. We're going to get into all of that, right? And that's cool. Now, that's why this video, it kind of shedding light that, it does exist. Like, this brotherhood is still out here. People are still out here trying to make sure, that you okay out here. That, we pushing this forward, and be careful, because there's stuff out here that you might not be aware of that I'm going to tell you about. So now you don't make the same mistakes that somebody else did. I could appreciate that type of brotherhood. And I would get a CB if it was like that. But the thing about the CBs with me is, I'm going to keep it 100 with you. I don't want to get used to a device that put me on. It's teaching me all this stuff. It's making me aware of weather conditions and traffic situations. That's going to save you time if you reroute, and they give you reroute you to a better route that's going to get you around that traffic and keep you going through on your routes. I could appreciate it for that. I would definitely sift through a CB for those type of helps. But I just have a problem with help. And, I'm more geared on self-help. And I just I'd rather just lean on myself, right? Because my thing is, what happens when the thing that's helping you feel a way about you, right? Something happened, and not saying that with the CB that it can happen, right? It's just, I'm using that as an example for any and all type of stuff that can happen, right? Because I realize, it's an abandonment culture right now, right? So, you ain't in line with certain stuff, you get abandoned. There's just no ifs, ands, buts about it. You're just throwing you to the side. Like, all right, listen, you out of here. We just going to just... So, how could I feel comfortable with a device that I need assistance from, that in some shape, form, or fashion, it could turn around and say, well, if you don't meet these criteria, we don't mess with you. So now, I done utilized 6 years of using the CB, 7 years of using the CB, right? All this time using the CB, because it was helping me safely move up and down this highway and getting these things back and forth to who it needs to be to, right? All these deliveries, right? But if it go cold on me, I'm out here left where? In a state of mind of desperation. I don't know what to do with myself. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, yo, what the fuck? You been helping me this whole time. And then now the punishment is you're going to stop. Where does it leave me? Right? But if you stand on your own You don't worry about that. If you trust in yourself and you've been doing it on your own, how can anything abandon you? You can't be abandoned if you stayed on your own and worried about how you can move forth, right? So, further elaborating on that, right? Because the thing about life is you do need help. You do need people. You do need assistance that's going to help you move forth so you can go beyond all the pitfalls that's going to stop you in your place, right? So one of my biggest lessons that I learned in life, right, is that money is not everything. Money is not going to fix everything. So you have the idea of, I'm going to chase money. I'm not worried about nothing else. I'm going to be on my own. I don't care about nobody else. And I'm going to run around. Because a lot of times some people's success, that's why it's real temporary, but it's geared off of the fact that they mad at something. So now it's like, all right, so now I'm going to do this to show you, right? But the problem is, what you don't realize is, when you do get it, you still have that same issue that you had before you got the money or the success or whatever you was out here trying to obtain, right? So I now understand the importance of developing character, right? Developing personality. These things is critical in your steps towards that success that you about to chase now, because you mad at somebody. You know what I'm saying? You mad. A lot of people on top was somebody else, a mad individual once upon a time ago. A mad individual, right? And they use all that anger to become successful. So now people on the outside looking in, they don't know. They don't have a clue. They just see your success and they see all the attraction that's coming towards your success. So they just thinking like that, you know the way, right? But they don't, but people around them probably know. They know, like, nah, we know. You know what I'm saying? Like, you got it in the wrong way. But then somebody who don't have it is thinking like, what the hell is the wrong way to a right thing, like success? What does that mean to somebody like that, right? So the thing, what it means is, you didn't obtain the things that keep you successful. You just obtained the thing that got you across that threshold. That's it. That's as far as your success took you. It's to cross that threshold to say, I made it. You know what I mean? I did it. But now, the clock that ticks on how long you going to have it, that's going to be the struggle now for you once you cross it. And then now you're going to be like, damn, you're going to start cursing success. Because now you're like, what the, you know what I mean? Because now, too much stuff that you value, what you thought was going to happen, it didn't happen. Everybody values of success ain't the same. So just because you became successful at something, it don't make it valuable for everybody out here. It don't work like that. So anyway, I know I went all the way around the board, all the way around the world with this video, and it's supposed to be a short video. I gotta get out of here. I gotta go. I gotta go, right? But be safe out here, man, because, we do need some of these reminders that we gotta be out here pre-tripping. We gotta be, one thing I know for sure, right? You can't blame a company driver for the equipment that the drivers drive. I was in Chicago not too long ago, right? And I met a fellow Chicago driver out there, right? Mind you, a very aggravated person. He's a very aggravated person, right? But I was like, I get it though. I'm like, damn, because, because he pulled up in his truck and it was a few of us outside. We were just talking about, a few things or whatever have you. And, so, the thing is, this just reminds me of this dude in Chicago, right? Good, cool dude, though. He cool as fuck, because I get it. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, I get it, bro. So, he had a real a truck that was in real bad shape, and he was like, yo, I be trying to tell it, but you know, he's dealing with business with his family, so it's not like he can get mad, but he can't get too mad because it's your family member still, you know. But if it's a company, you could be like, yo, you know what's so funny? You really don't care about me, and I really can go the hell up on you. But when you're doing business with your family, it's kind of hard to really get into that mode. You know, you really pissed off with them, you mad at them, but it's like, how far could you really go with your family like that? You know what I'm saying? But he's like, yo, bro, I be telling him, you know, you got to fix this stuff. You know, I'm like, yo, bro, you got cracks in your windows. You got, your one of your mirrors is off. I'm looking at all the stuff that'll get you burnt out here as far as being over the road. You know what I mean? Because we pass through DOT stations all the time. So we got to have these things up to par. But, you know, you got some people want to try them, you know, because they're trying to get this load off. They got to get the money. It's above the fine they're going to get if they can get past, you know, whatever, you know, right? The situation is. So, you know, he's a local driver in Chicago. So, you know, he don't really deal with that. So he goes long times with that. But guess what? When he get pulled over, he still deals with getting fines and stuff that goes on his license. And he's getting upset because he's like, yo, it's not your license on the line. You go out here, you don't be on the road. You just go get the loads and you send them to me. I got to deal with that with the truck you gave me. And I was like, yo, bro, I ain't gonna lie. I couldn't do that. Like, you a good person. I couldn't take all that. But he's still sticking it out. And the thing is, it's like, what happens is truck drivers don't realize is they get trapped into positions because if you get too much damages on your license, you can't go nowhere else anyway. So I'm pretty sure his cousin really don't care. He don't care that you getting stuff on your license because you still got to work for him because nobody else really going to touch you because of all the stuff you got going on your license, right? But to me, it's crazy because it's going out here. I recognize that the fact that you do have people in position that have the equipment and putting these drivers in these situations where the truck is really not up to par like that, right? But the point I'm about to draw down on is that it doesn't matter out here, right? It don't matter that we could talk about 1,000 different scenarios, right? But in writing, the rules out here is, as the driver, you take that key and start the truck. It's your responsibility. You gotta know these things. Yo, you could go in the store and something can happen that you was unaware about and jump back in your truck and something happens, it's still on you. That's your responsibility as a driver. So I understand the need for the movement, and I'm not trying to cross a brotherhood or a formulation of a brotherhood or to trying to deepen the brotherhood and truck. I'm not trying to go against stuff. I just like to point out the facts, right? The fact of the matter is in the book if you read it. You are responsible for this stuff. So unfortunately, a lot of people don't know these things. That's why I feel the need to keep it. I feel there's a need to keep on repeatedly remind people of where they should be at and what they should be understanding and looking into, and then proceed in what they're doing, because it should not be right that we're banding together for somebody that just lost their life. People lost their life out here. And I understand that the thing is like, yo, you know, why would you say that? Because if something happens now and you want people to be protected, to ride for you. My thing is, when I'm aware of that, I mean, you know, I'll feel more bad about the situation than anything else. I'm fortunate enough to not have an accident yet. You know what I mean? I haven't had any accident out here. I've been, you know, navigating through these things. And, you know, the reasons why I shoot the videos that I shoot is because I feel the need to try to help people do the same thing. One of the biggest ways that I do it is safety. I try to put all safety precautions that I possibly could think about. I try to utilize that as I drive. I try to use that as the main focus that I think about all the time while I'm driving, right? Now, I know. You got to relax on me, though, right? Because I know there's so much stuff that could be said about that last comment I just made, right? You know. But I practice safety to my best abilities. So that's how I'm gonna put that. I'm not perfect, so I'm not gonna say I'm the safety guy. You know what I mean? I'm the safety guru. I'm not. You know what I mean? I just understand the need to have safety awareness, so I actually speak about safety precautions and measures, because you gotta stay safe. There's situations that could change just like that. You know what I mean? And it could just change your whole situation just like that. And, you know, it's so funny because on a personal level, I feel like things didn't happen to me enough, right? Because one of the biggest things that I hear, one of the biggest challenges that I have out here, people say that, you know, you don't change. You do the same thing. You don't change. You do the same thing, right? What the fuck does that mean? Because the people I know, they always do the same thing. And I love them for that. I love them for that. You know what I'm saying? But here it is. I do the same things. I hate it for it. So anyway, back to the topic of discussion, right? I've been seeing a lot of ways why truck drivers band together, right? You know, we just had the issue with the rates was being too low. The truck drivers was down there in Washington, D.C., right? Brand new trucks, shiny, chromed out, tricked up trucks. But they sitting outside of D.C. demanding more money. I understand that, right? But I also understand the thing of a down season, right? It's the last topic. I said I was going to go, and this shit is still fucking clicking, right? It's the last point I'm about to make, right? Because the thing about brotherhood and trucking is we got to be aware of the environment and ourselves. That's why I purposely put something about myself on here, because I know a lot of people like, yo, why do people always shoot a video on something but then make it personal about themselves? Because I feel because we're talking about brotherhood here and trucking, and I feel the need that if that's going to work, we got to attack all issues that's going on out here. I understand that there's a down season, so I cannot see myself pulling up to Washington, D.C. and marching with that. I couldn't see myself doing that, because the way I perceive this industry and, you know, uptowns and downtimes, right, is that when it's downtime, go home, right? What are you doing out there on the downtime, sitting up in front? And this, I'm talking to myself right now, right? I'm watching y'all, and I'm like, yo, you know, shoot, march for it. I march for it. Like, obviously, your situation isn't a situation where it shouldn't be no downtime, because all the work we're doing out here, like, we're doing too much for us to be the ones that got to suffer in any type of event. We should always be beneficial, right? So I understand that. But again, from my understanding of my readings and how I perceive this industry and how I'll be moving forth is, go home on your downtimes. Me, not y'all, me. If it's downtime, I'm out of here. You know what I mean? I'm not about to sit here and fight through no downtime. But sometimes you don't have it like that. You got to be out here doing what you got to do. So, you know, I'd rather shut down on that, though. I'm not going to lie. Like, if I wake up one day and they just plummet all the way down to the ground in the negatives, like, you owe money to drive. Like, let's say it comes to the point where you owe money to deliver it. Yeah, I got to shut down. How the hell am I I can't do nothing with that type of timetables. I can't do nothing with that. Right? I'll go home. I check the rates every day. because there's some people out here, including myself, right? Because I don't always do that. There's sometimes I do got to stick it out during the down times and still ride it out here, right? Prime example, when the fuel shot through the roof, right? And it's still high. I'm still out here dealing with high fuel rates, right? And I had a whole segment on how I was going to shoot videos about going to shop for cheaper fuel, but it wasn't that bad. It wasn't as bad as I thought, so there's not much content on that, but I'm still out here. And then, when it go back up, I'm just going to still be out here to catch it. But you're going to go to the point of if I was home, right? So being home, if I'm shutting down, I'm in connection, so I know what's going on. So I know, all right, it's starting to be on the rise now. It's time to get out here and get on it because it's up now. Time to come outside. I had a friend of mine, in the industry, when the fuel crisis jumped, and thanks to this guy that put some type of virus on the internet or something where I forgot what happened, but it caused the fuel to go up, right? It was some type of bribery where they had to pay them, or it was some scam or something like that where they had to pay them all this money to be for it to be released, whatever. But anyway, my homeboy, you know what he did? It hit bad in his state. They had no fuel out there at all in his state. He just shut down. And I said, damn. He knew all he got to do is go out of town. But he was in a position that was so good. He was like, listen, I'm just going to just wait. I'm going to chill. You know what I mean? Like, it's hurting me right now. Nobody wants to deal through it. So as he was waiting, he was suffering through that time. Suffering like shit. But he like, yeah, I'm not going out there. I said, yo. I said, nah. I said, yo, I want to grow up to be like you. I want to be able to be like, yeah, nah, it's too much. I'm about to just chill. I said, nah. I said, yo, sometimes you be telling on yourself, bro, like, it must be nice. I'm like, yo, it must be nice. Because meanwhile, I'm still left out here to go on a scavenger hunt. I'm like, oh, shit. Yo, it's cold out here. Mine is cold as shit. But anyway, I'm like, damn, man, you just gonna stay home? You're not gonna go out here and get nothing? You're not gonna go out here. And mind you, I knew this because me and him we were doing business. So, he had one of my trucks out there running around, so he knows money out there that he made because he's running one of the trucks that I had. But him personally, was he going outside to deal with all of that? Hell no. Hell no. So, that's a nice position to have. But, it's cool. And I love seeing that. I love to see people up because now it gives me something to shoot for, to say, listen, I got to make sure I'm in this position where if things do happen like this, I'm cool. I could just go, I could follow my stuff. And since I'm not there now, it don't mean I can't work towards that level. So right now, it's like, all right, boom. Another mission I got to accomplish, right? It's all good because, I don't compete with nobody. I don't look to nobody for like, oh, I don't like what you're doing. I want to be I don't do that, right? I look at people and I do compete, but it's in a way of where it's like, shit, I got to do that for me. Nobody owes me that. I got to put myself in that position. I can't be mad at you for having that position and then come after you because of that position that you have. I have to look at myself and look at certain, because the thing about it is this internet is exposing a lot of people's positions in life and where they at, right? And now it's leaving people who think like that upset. Oh man, like, but I'm saying because there's a need to attack social media because a lot of people can't take the level that social media is going to, like a lot of depression is going on with social media because there's a lot of measurement going on between self and others, right? And I'm just like, damn. Me though, I appreciate that. That's why it's gonna be a sad day if they actually get that going, because I'm like, damn, I was actually enjoying this, you know. So one thing I can't do, and this is a point I'm gonna leave off with, this is because we talking about brotherhood here, we talking about trucking brotherhood, and you know, I don't mind leaving certain things unanswered, and it actually could be addressed, and I could actually go further, because I could take this shit in many different directions, right? But the point I just want to leave off with this video is this: just because I feel the need, like let's say I feel good, like I'm like, yo, I'm good, that's all that should matter in life, and move forward. That's a bad way of thinking, because just because you good, that don't mean everything around you is good. And I know it's like, yo, that's not your problem. I just can't see myself living in a world like that, where it's like, as long as I'm good, I don't give a fuck. I can't do that, because we talking about brotherhood, right? So trucking brotherhood, right? So that's why I'm even making this point, because it's like, when you talking about certain things, there's certain things that you can't do anymore. Now, you talking about yourself, I guess you could do that. Now, that's on you. That's your thing. But me personally, it's tough. You can't just think you good and that's it. I'm pretty sure that brother didn't think that he was gonna be where he at today. If you asked him a week ago, he probably was flying high. You know, he was enjoying this opportunity. It's a tough dynamics, but that's life, right? There's a system in place that punish you even for your ignorance, that you don't know nothing about. That's why somebody may say, let's say if I was in that situation and they say, yo, how you deal with that? Like, how you not breaking down? Like the average person would break down. It's because I was a person that, from that perspective, knew what I was getting into. I knew what I was signing up for. I don't know everything that I'm signed up for. You know, that it, just like he didn't know everything. He didn't know everything, so he got caught off guard. But for that particular incident, I knew what was going on. Once and it happened, I would already knew what was going on. I read it. So, for us to blackball Colorado, we got it bad out here. But and to me, right, what that does is it says, all right, because we know who benefits off of our services, consumers, right? Everybody, let's just say everybody benefits, because we can go to hospitals, we can go to whoever needs supplies to keep whatever daily activities they got going on. So that means when you want to say we're going to abandon a state, right, for what the state laws did, it's like we want action for that. So we're going to punish the people. So they in turn can now it make it more intense to change that law, because now what that's going to do is it's going to start putting the pressure on us truck drivers to tighten up, or they're going to burn us out here, right? And a lot of truck drivers know, like, we're not perfect. So it's a scary thing now, because if they do that, you know how much oh shit. Anyway, you know how much us gonna get affected by that shit now, right? It's not funny. So I'm not laughing. It's not funny, but it's just some real shit, right? Because you're supposed to be fearful of this stuff, right? You're supposed to be scared of this shit. You're supposed to be trembling in your boots. Because if this stuff flies in effect, we all under the gun all over again. We all under the gun. Because I'm not perfect. Yeah, I didn't have an accident, but I'm not going to mark myself off for not one day may have an accident. Yo, the stuff that I have to dip and avoid to get out of it and to keep that, you know what I'm saying? It's amazing. I'm not, because the thing about it is, I'm not just the offensive person that's going straight in offense, right? I utilize defense too. So I'm like, oh snap, you know what I mean? I knew another rule was you can't just drive for yourself, right? I'm gonna keep going back to that self stuff, because a lot of people feel like as long as I'm good, it don't matter. If I'm staying in my lanes, if I'm in my stuff, I don't worry about what's going on outside of me, right? I don't care that this dude is a drunk driver and he's wobbling in front of me. As long as I stay in my lane, if he come across, that's his business. I can't think like that. You know what I'm saying? Just because I'm good, it don't mean it gives me the right to not worry about the conditions of somebody around me. This person could have been sleepy in his car, but he got to make it home because he got something going on. I don't know what's going on with this person in front of me, but I know he's in a dangerous situation. You know what I'm saying? Beep, beep, I'm blowing at this person, right? He ain't waking up. He's still wobbling in his car. So I'm just playing behind him, and I'm just like, damn, you know what I'm saying? This dude need to get off the road. But I could be like, yo, I don't care. You know, I gotta make it. I don't care to ride behind you, because I gotta make it to my load. I gotta make sure my stuff is good, so I'm gonna drive past you and figure this out. Nah. That day I chose to be like, nah, yo, bro, get your ass up, man. What you doing? So the thing about it is, we could be under fire. So I see the need to want to protect that. I see the need to want to nip this in the bud, and, you know, because this is a hard job for us. There's a lot of factors that can happen that makes us subjected to error driving, right? That's why they need to have the robot drivers come out here to take over this shit. You know what I'm saying? And then, you know, because they feel like they're going to be more perfect than us. It's just point blank, period. There's jobs that we don't need you out here to be sitting behind the wheel to do. We're going to have somebody in place to do that for you. You ain't got to worry about it. And listen, I can speak comfortably about this because I don't give a shit. I don't care about that. Me personally, right? Why do I care for the need to improve something that have flaws in it? To be in a better world. Like, if I get up and every day, I know there's a truck out there that's driving and it's not making no accidents and it's down. Listen, just don't make no trucks that's gonna be out here doing worse than what we doing. That's gonna be terrible. But, you know, I know that they're gearing up for all of this stuff. I see it. I'm fortunate enough to be like, you know, I just take life for what it is. You know what I mean? Whatever it is, I'm going on to the next phase of the everyday struggle. Because no matter what's going on, no matter what happened, the clock never still stop ticking, yo. It don't stop ticking. So, you know, there's not one thing that defines me. There's not one thing that says, well, if you take this away, I'm a done deal. I got to figure out, I'm going to go to the next thing. That's what brought me here. There was something else that was a done deal, right? And then what I did, I came on board on this driving stuff, right? So while out in the midst of this driving stuff, I didn't just say, I'm just going to leave it here at this driving stuff. What I told myself, if something can get taken away from me, it's an abandonment culture, right? So if you keep messing up out here, it would abandon you too. It's gonna it's just it's just a law. It's a law that's just out here. You're not in line with certain stuff, you're about to be abandoned, right? All right. So now, let's say that this trucking stuff is helping me, right? Let's just say it is helping me, right? Let's say this trucking stuff is helping me, right? And then it gets taken away from me, right? It's going to leave me out here looking like what? Right. You know what I mean? Like, it got me looking crazy out here. Because I utilized you this whole time, 6 years, 7, whatever years that I've utilized whatever services that was helping me. So let's just say this, you know what I'm saying? Just for clarity purposes. If it gets taken away from me, it handicaps me now, right? But I refuse to put myself in that position. I refuse to put myself in that position. Why would I do that to myself? And that's just a lot of questions that people got to ask. Why would I do that to myself? That's why it's hard for me to adapt to a CB, right? Because I already know if it gets taken away, it's going to leave me in a weaker form because I utilized that shit for a long time, right? Be careful out there, man. Y'all got to stay safe out there, man. Make sure y'all doing y'all pre-trips. I don't want to go too far on that because I got a whole bunch of videos on that already. Make sure you're staying safe out here, man. Keep reading up on this material. You got to read on this every day. Crack that damn CDL book open every once in a while. Your 10 years in this service ain't get you past that. When I was working at a company, they made sure they give you an update every month because they was and they paid you for your safetyness. You got incentives for being safe. Your check went up for you being safe. They paid you for that. I think we need to make that, we need to normalize that because there's a system out here that don't mind punishing you for not being safe. You see, you know what I mean? So why leave all these truck drivers out here to be a part of that system that y'all know? Because let me tell you something. When I first came out here and I was being trained, the man told me, he said, listen, we got your back 1,000%. But if you fuck up, you're on your own. You gotta deal with that shit yourself. So be careful out there. And I was like, damn, appreciate it. You know what I'm saying? Now I know. It is what it is. I can't be mad at him telling me that. I appreciated that. Don't tell me how much you got me, and you know what I mean? Don't give me the false narratives. But they've been in the industry enough to know. They've seen so much different examples. They was actually able to be real with the situation. Yo, if you out there and, you know, you drunk or some shit, because, you know, bro ain't had none of this stuff going on. So that's why I can understand the need to stand up for bro because, you know, he wasn't texting, like he said. I don't know the case. I'm just going to go off of this video, right? According to this video, he wasn't texting. He wasn't impaired. And this shit happened to him, right? That's not supposed to exist in our world. When these things is not a part of the equation, we're supposed to be getting help. Y'all supposed to be coming down here to help us because we making y'all rich as shit. So why when we in trouble, you're not helping us? But it all goes back to what I was talking about. Because when you start that in the real world, right? It don't matter what nobody tell you, right? In the real world, with the rules and the law that's in place, when you touch that key and you start that truck, it's your responsibility. And I'm gonna leave this video right there. Cause I got to get the fuck out of here. This shit was a long video. This shit was a long video. This shit wasn't short. Until next time, peace.